All right, guys, here we are. The map, as I said right before the great intro screen, is ESV Ohana. A great map. I actually love playing on this map. I just want to say that. ESV, they make such good maps. And in the top left of it, the last hope for CheckSix, it is Mystic, and he will definitely need to bring the magical powers of Gandalf to win 5 games in a row, I think, against the guy from this team, TSL. It is winner of 4 games in a row, potentially all killing CheckSix. It is RevivaL.
And this is a really interesting map for ZVZ as well, because you can take your natural very quickly, but if you want to break down your back rocks to take your third, it means that your opponent has an opportunity, rather, to destroy your third if you take it too quickly before those rocks are broken down as well. Something we see in ZVP a lot, but of course, guys, none of that's going to matter because it looks like RevivaL going to be popping out with what I believe was a 9 pool.
It's a 10
pool. Sorry.
It's a 10 pool, but that's
we
okay.
see a spine crawler with it.
Yeah. Maybe. If it's an all-in, we certainly will. We'll probably see the drones pulled as well. That's actually like one of my favorite ZVZ builds. In fact, I remember the night before Damaga beat NST with that in the GSL. Moro actually showed him that build. Swedish Zerg player Moro was like, hey, I noticed that NST never drone scouts, and he always goes 15 hatch. If you do this build, if you go 10 pool all in and build a spine crawler, bring the drones, you will beat him. And Damaga's like, oh, really? Moro's like, yeah, you will. And he's like, oh, okay. And then it worked. Damaga actually beat NST with that build. Don't know if that's what we're going to see from a RevivaL this
gas
side,
pool, though, coming out from Mystic.
Yeah,
so will he have a decent chance here of maybe even holding it off?
That's the thing. Overall, this is a great opening against what RevivaL is doing. So if Mystic micros his drones well, he's going to be in pretty good shape. In fact, the Zerglings are only going to get there right before the Zerglings of RevivaL pop out because it is a little bit larger of a map. And now the Overlord does see the Zerglings moving across the map, so he will know it's coming. How will he respond? Well, I guess the question is he really can't do anything to respond. You just have to micro your drones well and prepare to make Zerglings immediately. And there they are.
And it looks like those Zerglings are more or less going to pop out at the exact same time. RevivaL's Lings are going to be heading into Mystic's base. So things are going to be pretty tense here. We do have a Queen on the way as well, but she's going to take a while to pop out. And the first 6 Lings from RevivaL are now going to be inside the base of Mystics 4v4 to start off with. The additional 2 Zerglings are going to be out now. And so much damage going on. Oh, excellent surround on those Lings, though, from Mystic, followed by a beautiful drone drill. Means that only 1 worker going down.
Very nice.
And 6 Lings going down for RevivaL. So wonderfully held so far. Another drone going down here, but the Queen now out. And all of those initial Zerglings have been thwarted. The current worker count, I believe, is completely safe for Mystic. What's it at, Doa?
The worker count right now is 18 to 14. So we actually have a drone lead for RevivaL even. He made nothing but drones after those initial Lings, wanted to just make sure he put a little bit of pressure on, but that is about it.
So as soon as he saw the gas was down for Mystic, he knew that his build wasn't going to build or to win over his opponent, and immediately started doing nothing but droning up back home. So that was just a great read on your opponent, and able to do that on the fly while microing as well. Beautiful stuff coming out of RevivaL. Of course, both players are going to be able to head into a bit of a macro game at the moment. RevivaL looks like going to be going up with a Baneling Nest for a bit of a follow-up push here, and why not try and throw his opponent off, see if he can win with that as well. In the meantime, Mystic feeling safe enough to expand behind this, but will the hatchery pop out long enough for him to use the larva to defend with? We'll have to wait and see in just a moment.
Well, here's the thing. Excuse me. Wow. I don't know. Maybe it's allergies. Maybe it's dust. Maybe it's just that my body can't handle the amazingness of StarCraft. Sorry about the coughing, but anyway, I don't know if Mystic is quite expecting that there was gas so quickly for RevivaL. That's kind of one of those things where a lot of times you don't see gas quite as fast after the person 10 pulls. I think if you're going to 10 pull, you always want to get gas fairly quickly, especially if it doesn't work very well. But Mystic may have actually misread this just a little bit. Now, he's getting his own Baneling Nest. He's got his own Banelings on the way, so he should still be fairly safe against what RevivaL has coming for him. But I don't know, man. That is a lot of Zerglings with good micro. RevivaL could still be in pretty good shape to take this game.
And RevivaL, look at this.
Oh,
He's
that's
actually
a lot of
droning up
banelings.
behind this as well. So he is looking,
Yeah.
he is trying to trade
Oh.
favorably,
Oh.
force Mystic to build even. Oh, nice 2 for 3 there, but 2 banelings are still going to be in here, and a decent number of banelings blows up. The rest of the Zerglings could try and do a little bit damage if he wanted to, but it looks like he is going to be falling back for now, and he was droning up behind all of that and now going to be grabbing his natural expansion. That is really, really good from RevivaL because he is going to be forcing more and more units out of Mystic at the moment, so we'll see if... No, actually, Mystic doing a really good job of reading that as well. He is not producing more Zerglings and banelings to defend. Instead, he's just going to continuously drone up, so now we're going to be reaching a little bit of an... a position in the game where we actually find Mystic ahead by 1 or 2 drones over RevivaL.
Yeah, I gotta say, Mystic has been playing this really, really well. He hasn't overreacted to anything he's seen at all. Even the Zerglings he made initially to defend against the 10 pool weren't overdoing it, really. He had a couple extra at the end, but overall has kind of played this game really, really well. So, yeah, we're kind of moving into a fairly even mid-game, fairly even worker counts, although, no, never mind, I take that back. Mystic really droning up hard at this point. So RevivaL, now the one who needs to play a little bit of catch-up, and with a spine crawler at the main with the Evo Chamber and the Queen kind of blocking things off a little bit, giving the drones a nice little escape path here. I think Mystic is actually in a great spot. This is probably one of the best spots we've seen a Zerg from CheckSix in versus RevivaL today, really.
Absolutely. I mean, what RevivaL was trying to do with that particular play with those Lings and Banelings was to force his opponent to overcompensate and use those larvae to build more Zerglings, to try and get a couple more Banelings on the field to protect himself against a follow-up. But Mystic did not have any of that whatsoever. He just went, nope, I know exactly what you're doing here. I'm going to sit back and macro and do the bare minimum I need to defend. And as a result, he's in a fantastic position against RevivaL at the moment, even taking his 3rd base. So will RevivaL go for a 3rd base himself, or will he try and turn this into a bit of a 2-base timing attack? I'm not 100% sure at this point in the game. We'll have to wait and see what his tech's going to be like, and it looks like Mystic has now thrown down the Roach Warren.
Yeah, so going for a very standard Zerg strategy here, taking that 3rd relatively quickly, going for the Roach Warren before the lair, just going up to 2 gases just to kind of stay a little bit more safe, and also going for that +1 armor as well. So just all in all playing a very defensive style of ZVZ. Now, on the other side, we have that lair going up for actually just finished, and there we have, the Roach Warren Infestation Pit as well, and I believe that's an Evo Chamber, yep. So RevivaL kind of doing everything at once. He has to take a little bit of a risk here, and it looks like he just wants to be very aggressive off of 2 bases, and while that will maybe set him back a little bit economically, obviously his opponent has his 3rd base done. If he's able to have a really good timing with this, it could pay off. So RevivaL, you know, taking the appropriate risks, I would have to say, in this situation.
And look at this. We've seen this more than once before in a ZVZ today already. We do see the +1 armor coming out from Mystic. So just keeping his build a little bit flexible, knowing that he's slightly ahead of his opponent at the moment, wants to make sure he's able to transition into something else later on in the game. And that could be indicating something where he might be thinking about transferring to Lings a little bit later on. Or, of course, if you attack with both Lings and Roaches, they both benefit from that armor upgrade.
Yeah, exactly.
But conversely, we see RevivaL going to be going for the Pathogen Glands very quickly indeed. And we see +1 missile attacks coming out of him as Mystic starts the same.
Yep, and he's also got that Infestation Pit on the way now as well. So he's going to have, you know, similar tech fairly soon, but it's all going to come down to this big 2-base attack that's going to be coming up from TSL.RevivaL. It looks like it may be timed around when +1 finishes, which is going to be interesting because even though he may have a few more Roaches, he's going to have, oh, nice Circling Scout there, he's going to have, you know, a little bit less in terms of upgrades. He's only going to have that +1 weapons, whereas he's not going to have that +1 armor that his opponent got. I mean, Mystic getting that +1 armor, just kind of saying, all right, I don't need to do more damage. I know that with the combination of armor and the really fast reinforcements that I'm going to get at my base from defending, I should be just fine. Let's take a look at the unit count. As far as the Roaches go, 10-5 right now. So RevivaL actually doing a very similar build to what we saw in Game 1, really, only now getting that 3rd base.
And RevivaL, if he wants to be going for a timing off the 2 base, which is now looking slightly less likely because he's going for the 3rd himself, he really needed to already have been moving out with his Roaches, because if we take a look at the research times, +1 is going to finish for RevivaL in about 10 seconds time, but Mystic has his +1 only about 20 more seconds behind. So the engagement really needs to happen in the next 20 to 30 seconds if Revival wants to make the most of that upgrade advantage, and +1 has now finished for him, but he has not even moved out of his base, or he has now.
There he goes.
But by the time he reaches Mystic's base, if Mystic stays back in defense, he will more or less have +1 as well, which I think now only has about 20 seconds to go.
This is going to be a little bit risky, yeah, for Revival. I mean, he is down slightly on supply as well. He needs to kind of camp out in the middle of the map until that +1 finishes. And I think
it
looks
finished
like
for him. It's Mystic that's waiting for the +1.
That's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, observing. And pretty good concave here by Mystic. He should be ready for this army. It's going to come down a lot to the fungal growth. Oh, there's infestors for Mystic, too. There we go. Nice fungals, yeah, for Revival. And suddenly, Revival looking okay here. It's going to come down to the reinforcements.
Excellent concave there from Revival, because he was able to wrap himself around, and it looks like on the right-hand side the army's going to win, and as a result going to be able to pick off so many of these roaches while they retreat. Revival having a picture-perfect engagement there, but we do have some infestors out for Mystic as well. Revival needs to be very careful, otherwise he will get fungal, and some of those roaches are not exactly at tip-top health himself. And here we go. Excellent fungal on Revival. Mystic with an absolutely beautiful fungal, but is it going to matter, because so many roaches in this one location for Revival as it currently stands, and another beautiful fungal from Revival. He is now up on supply, 143 to 119, and we were saying all game how Mystic was in a fantastic position, but these engagements, this army positioning from Revival has just been so perfect. Mystic has got a brilliant fungal growth off, but Revival getting fungal after fungal after fungal. He's just playing this so well.
Now it's Revival with the supply lead. One interesting thing to note is that Mystic had to make some infestors, or he tried anyway, before Pathogen Gland finished. He didn't have the fungal. He GG's, and TSL Revival is going to go up 5-0. That is an all-kill.